Today I'm going to talk about holidays in jail. So normally holiday seasons come in, you start to see the stores changing their decorations. They have all these sales going on. You're getting ready for Christmas. You want to get your kids everything that you want, but holidays in jail is either you're running out or you don't mind being there. And either way, you can't determine what's really going to go on. So there's been times where, thankfully, when I started the job, I had the holiday schedule, which means that I was always off for all the holidays. So spending holidays in jail wasn't really my expertise, thank God. But my original jail, EMTC, always used to make sure that if your midnight shift ended on a holiday, that they would find somebody to work for you, And most of the time, everybody came in for their shift, which was a good thing, A lot of times the other officers in the jail, like say if it was Mother's Day or Christmas, they would try to bring gifts and do raffles and have food and barbecues and sell food. So it wasn't always all bad, not at all. It was your family away from home. We tried to be there for each other as much as we could, try to help each other as much as we could. It's just some people, they're just not happy, and it doesn't matter whether it's at jail or at home or anything. And sometimes people bring the issues that they have at home to work, which they always say you shouldn't do, but sometimes you just can't help it. You're there so much, you didn't even get a chance to really get your emotions in check, and now you're at work and there's more things piling up on you, so you're not going to really know how to deal with it. So most of the time I was home for holidays. Thankfully, I was able to open gifts for my son and do certain things. But being a midnight officer and just being in a dark space in jail, it's sort of like everything is just dark. You don't want to show that you're excited. They're asking you questions. Oh, did you buy all your kids gifts yet? What you eating for Thanksgiving? And when you look, even the meals, it's Thanksgiving and they give them like turkey slices, like this type of like banana fruit cake. I never really ate any of that stuff. I ain't gonna lie. Chicken day, I'm gonna eat a little bit of chicken now. I ain't gonna lie. But for the most part, anything that they had there, I really didn't eat their food, and I've seen them make cakes out of bananas. Like they'll save the fruit, they'll put it with like a Cinnabon that they could get from commissary, layer it, cut it with an ID so that they can share it with everyone. They are super creative. But me, I don't even like real desserts that much, so I surely do not want a jail banana cake. But thank you for all the times that you guys offered it to me, but yeah, I just wasn't doing that. And they used to be like, Miss T, you think you too good to eat this? I'm just not going to say anything because it's not that I think I'm too good, but I just don't want that ID card knife on the homemade cake. And, I'm just good. You enjoy it. Thank you. But being in that space, you see how those walls and that environment really affect people. The mental health is at an all-time high, and there's not enough services to compete with the people that are going through different things. You can see a guy, he's been locked up for a couple of months, he's doing well, he starts using drugs, the peer pressure is heavy. You could be a grown 40-something-year-old man and the house tells you to do something. More times than not, unless you're not afraid to fight the whole house, you're going to do what they said. And that's just how it goes. So there was some situations where I was the officer in a house in GRVC. There was a young guy in there, and he was the same gang as them. Let's just be clear. He was the same gang as them. So I let them talk. There's certain things that as an officer, as much as you want to be high and mighty, the jail is there and it's been there. Their unwritten rules are there. So you have to just make sure everybody is safe and that you go home the same way you came. I know you might hear me say that more times than not throughout this documentary, but it's just true. So when an inmate comes in, you gotta kind of feel it, whether or not he belongs here, or whatever the case may be. So he comes in. I'm like, you sure you good? You see anybody you know in here? Like, you sure you straight? Oh yeah, I'm good. I know him. I know him. I know him. Okay. I take him to the empty cell. He goes into the empty cell. He says, oh, I want to come back out. I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm going to do this. Okay. No, nothing feels weird. Nothing's going on that I'm like, oh, you want to get out? He said he was fine. I start doing other things. I start tending to other individuals that are in the facility. And next thing I know, he has a bloody face. They punched him so fast and his face bust open so fast. And all I did was go downstairs. So now I have to put that armor back on. What are y'all doing? You could have told me that you didn't have a good relationship with him. You could have told me that there was an issue. I never would have brought him in there. Just get away from him. Get away from him. Now, if you've been watching the series, you'll see that in the first episode, I show you how the cells look. So I walk him down the steps. Now, the entire house is out. Everybody has their sneakers on. And that's a surefire way that a fight is going to happen. When everybody in the jail has their sneakers on in that house, you know somebody's about to fight, get cut, or something. So I'm like, get away from him. You guys already got it. Let me get him out. He has to go to the doctor. So now this inmate has to look at me and trust me that I'm not banding with the other inmates and going to let him get hurt. So we're walking through. I'm scared. He's probably scared because I'm a female. How much can I do to help him? And we're walking down and we're going across. And I'm like, just leave him alone. Mind you, ain't nobody even doing nothing. They done. They're just packing him up. That's what they call it, packing them up. Like when they don't want somebody in there, they either beat you up or they do the honors of packing your, because they are a great hotel service, so they will pack your belongings for you, fold your bed up, and put you on a gate. Get up out of here before we have to hurt you. So dealing with that, I finally got him out, and I'm like, why didn't you say something? He's like, oh, I didn't know they was going to do that. So even when you're supposed to be good, your own team, your own gang can turn on you, beat you up, and throw you right into whatever situation. So now you might have to go to another house and try to go through the same thing. So you never know what you're going to encounter. As an inmate, as an officer, you're walking into a house, you're supposed to be good, you're not good, you get packed up, now you got to go somewhere with another gang. Now you're with the other gang, and they want to hurt you just because you're another gang. So now you got to get packed up again. Now you're just on a world tour. So the inmates go on world tours too, because sometimes they can't live. That's what it's called. And those two words are so literal. Can't live with them, can't live with them, can't stay in the clinic, can't stay in intake. You just can't live anywhere. So sometimes they kind of like to be that way because they're constantly on the move, which means they don't have to fight, they don't have to give up their food, they don't have to give up their underwear, their new shirts that their family sent them. So being on a world tour, I'm constantly traveling with my bag and I'm never settled. So it ain't no time for nobody to steal my stuff because I'm sleeping in intake with my bag. I'm over here with my stuff over there. So there's really nothing that anybody could do to me because I'm always on the move. And that is a tactic that they use so that they're not in danger. So imagine you committing a petty crime, in their eyes petty, or by black and white law petty, and I'm in here with murderers, rapists, this one and that one, and I don't want to give them my food. So they're beating me up because I don't want to give them my stuff. So now I can't live. I'm on a gate. I've been out all night, been in bookings, been here, been there, and all I want to do is sleep. But you can't really sleep. People that are sleeping comfortably in jail, they are a different type of person. Because I've seen people that stay up all night. You can do a double with them, they're up. You do a triple with them, they're still up. You get relieved, they're still up. Did you ever lay down? Oh, I don't need to lay down. I'm up. It's been 2 days. Oh, I know. I don't sleep. So they condition themselves to always be up because you're always looking over your shoulder, even with people that you know. I've been doing things in the housing area, helping this one, helping that one. Here, get the broom, clean up, take the garbage off the table. And they're like, don't trust them. They don't like black women. But you didn't hear that from me while they're pushing the broom. Straight telling me what's going on. Be careful with that one. He touches women. What? So in that environment, you're trying to think of everything that you have to do. You're trying to keep everybody safe. Then you're trying to protect yourself. And unfortunately, there's some women that have dealt with issues where inmates have really tried to sexually assault them. So imagine I'm trying to deal with this. This one's coughing. This one's sick. This one might have a disease. This one might have some type of terminal illness. I got to get him to his medication. And then I have to worry about being sexually assaulted at the same time. And who's going to protect me? There's times where the inmates will really help you. They really will, but that's not a guarantee. It's really not a guarantee, which brings me to the part where holidays, birthdays, all these different things go on in jail and you don't get celebrated. The officers are not bringing you a birthday cake. Or so I've heard. I know I wasn't bringing any birthday cakes in there, but all these different things in your life are happening, different milestones. People have babies that are being born and they can't get to the phone. That's crazy. So now they're upset because they missed the birthday of the child physically and by the phone. So when I started working as a PREA officer, which is Prison Rape Elimination Act, I was assigned to GRVC. So just imagine this. They're already mad because I'm from EMTC. Now I'm in GRVC and I'm working the clinic. I'm doing my thing, like getting the inmates their services. I'm building rapport. I'm doing my thing. I'm writing in a book. I'm getting to where I need to get to. I end up signing the transfer request, leaving, and I go to headquarters. Whoa. Who does she think she is, coming from EMTC to the worst jail and then leaving and going to headquarters with only how many years did I have? 4 years on the job? She don't deserve that. So now I leave, and what do? They reassign me to the jail I just left. What? So now you mean to tell me I got to reintroduce myself with my new title to the same people I was just working with? And you think they're going to be happy for me? So I try to keep my same attitude. Hey, you need help? But the position I'm in now is definitive. I cannot do floor officer work when I'm a PREA officer, which means I can't help you lock doors. I can't help write your book. I can't help do certain things that I would as an officer's officer because I'm a PREA officer. Now, not that because I think I'm better, but my actual duties do not call for that. So I cannot be involved in floor officer duties because I'm here for PREA. So now I'm here for PREA. I'm assigned to all these different individuals. But I'm going to tell you a piece. Before I was assigned as a PREA officer, I used to work heavy in the clinic. So I had multiple inmates in all the pens, which is a holding area until they get called for their services. So sometimes you're in that area because you did something wrong and they don't have anywhere to put you. You might not be able to live anywhere, so you're stuck in these areas where you're kind of secluded until they can find somewhere for you to go. So now I'm at the clinic desk and the inmates over here are hungry and I'm coming in on the midnight. So did you not eat for the day? Because, were you on Ramadan? Which is, no offense to anybody who actually celebrates Ramadan, but these are terms that are utilized within the jail when certain things go on. Personally, I'm not one of those officers. I never participated in any of that, but there are levels where the inmate would literally throw feces on you, urine on you, food on you. So if you continuously feed them, you're going to continuously get splashed, is what they call it. So at this time, I'm like, I've never been splashed before. I kind of felt good. Like, ain't nobody don't want to splash me. Nobody hates me enough to splash me. Cool, I'm good. Sitting at the desk, talking to these guys over here. They're like, oh, we're really hungry, Miss T. Could you find some cereal for us or something? I said, I personally don't have any, but I'm going to ask the officer that is over there if she has anything. Cool. She comes back. Mind you, this inmates over here, inmates over here. But this pen is connected to me and connected to the intake is where they bring individuals in from courts, the street, and other facilities. They get checked, they get scanned, body scanned, and then they come and then they get housed, which is where we take them to the housing area. So the inmates are over here, and he hears me from this side talking to these guys and thought that I was giving them the most amazing cereal and milk in the world. So he hears me, he's banging, I want to eat, you bitch, like, going in. I'm like, bruh, like, I don't even have anything to give you. When I finally got my hands on something, I, being the officer that I am, moseying on over and thinking I'm saving the day, and I go give him some cereal and milk. He grabs the cell slide, opens the milk and throws it on me. Alright. Alright. He got me. He got me. Thankfully, it wasn't feces. Thankfully, it wasn't urine. It was milk. But he got me. So now, people that know me, they're like, he did what? That's inmates, officers. They're like, nah, what's up? Meaning, like, what you want to do with him? Like, what do you want us to do? Nah. I always took the high road. No, thank you. Just leave him alone. I'm not calling no calls on him. It's okay. You sure? You sure? Listen, don't do anything to him. Let it be. Leave him alone. He was upset. I'm going to hold it down. That's it. Now time goes on. Let's fast forward back to me becoming a PREA officer. I get the roster of the inmates that I have to interview on a weekly basis. So I'm going from house to house. Even the inmates, oh, you headquarters now? Oh, look at you. So some people are happy, some people are not. But either way, they're going to say something. So either they're going to try to figure out how you got to headquarters, or they're congratulating you and knew that you could always move your way around the jail because of your personality. So now I end up going into this particular housing area where I knew a lot of the inmates in there, and the guy on my roster is a guy who splashed me. So remember, I said I did not call not one order on him because it wasn't called for in my eyes. He's upset, he's hungry, it was milk. And not to say that if it was worse that I would have did that. I'm pretty strong in a lot of things, so I just would have held it down, and I would have probably just called out like, listen, I need time. I was exposed to feces and urine, and I just need time because it was a traumatic experience. So I end up knocking on his cell door, and I'm like, hi, I'm your PREA officer. Immediately, I'm so sorry. I didn't know who you were. Not that I was some crazy CO that ain't nobody ever gonna do nothing to me. No, it wasn't that at all. It's just the fact that I always modeled that I wanted to be treated a certain way, and I try to treat inmates a certain way, and I was very solution based. I'm gonna make sure that if I can help their situation, I will, and they knew that. So the inmates that knew him must have heard the story and was like, you did what to Miss T? And they'll pull me to the side like, so yeah, give us the word. And I'm like, nah, y'all don't have to do that. So when people tell you what goes on, those orders really happen. You know, you could be an officer just trying to do your job, and if you mess up a drug transaction, or you mess up a sale, or you mess up some type of play that they have in motion, yeah, they're going to put a hit out on you. Like, you have to be very, very careful. It's not a joke. It's not a game. It's a very dangerous job. So whether you're female, whether you're male, the testosterone, the estrogen, this, the that, the different sexual orientations, there's so many different things you have to deal with. And then on top of that, you're not around your family for the holidays. You're not celebrating your birthday. You're missing the birth of your children. You're regretting taking that charge for a friend. The friend doesn't call you, doesn't send you anything. So all of that mixed in together with everybody's emotion and different lives and your outside life and your home life is not easy. You come home, you're a little bit more tense, you're a little bit more angry, you're yelling a little bit more at your kids, your patience is thin because of all the different things. You have to literally retrain yourself to get back into a normal environment because jail is so grimy and so dark and so gritty. Like, you really just have to see. Like, so a lot of people didn't know that I had this job, but I was actively fighting that part. Actively, every day, fighting being angry, fighting being miserable, fighting being upset, and then fighting the fact that, yo, I just did 20 hours and I might be stuck and my son is home. I want to be home for our birthday. I want to be home for Christmas. And it's not that I'm better than the next. Everybody should be, but this is a 24-hour operation. So they do not close. Somebody has to be there to man these individuals. So I learned so many interesting things with these individuals. So, like I said, there's so many different things that you do learn when you're in jail, and sometimes they just want to feel that family sense, but it's a thin line. Like when you see the different episodes with my ex-partner, Pittman, you see that it's a very thin line with the things that go on in facilities. So certain holidays that come around, they want to make you cards. They ask you if you're a mom. They want to make tissue paper flowers. I'm actually going to insert a picture of those flowers that I've received before, and it's a nice gesture, but you have to make sure that you let them know that, hey, I don't want you to be confused. I don't want you to think that, you doing this or leaving this on my desk means anything. But they do become infatuated with you. And I think that that's something that I dealt with more, because you are doing your job and you're not mistreating them. You're not using the issues that they have dealt with against them. They in turn start to like you in a way that they want to care for you. They don't want any other inmates to disrespect you, and they don't want to do certain things. And let's be clear, I've run into inmates everywhere. Right here, where I'm from, in the supermarket, at the store, by my old home. So they're everywhere, and they are regular people. So when you see them integrate back into regular life, you pray that, you didn't have or come across them in a negative way, that now it's free land. Like, whatever happens, and I'm thankful that I never dealt with that. But actually, the guy that lived very close to me, he saw me grilling one day, and he was like, "Oh, it smells good over there." And I'm like, "Okay," but he noticed me. He was like, "You from the 6th building, right?" "Yeah, I remember working with you. What's up?" I'm like, "Yeah." Mind you, I got my son in the back, and I used to stay strapped. Don't play. Stay strapped. And, it was important. It was important that I kept a professional standpoint with the different people that I was working with, because who knows? You know where I live, you know where my son is, you see my car, you see my license plate, and if I had negative relationships with all these different individuals, who knows what could have happened, you know what I'm saying? But, holidays in jail was a big, big thing, there's a lot of different situations that happen, and you dealing with such a volatile group, so many negative people that, their circumstances suck, and I'm not babying them, and I'm not saying, oh, everybody in there is amazing. No, there are reasons why we have facilities. There are people that have committed crimes, and they have to serve their time for the things that they have done. But there's people that have suspended licenses, and they don't have enough money to get out, and there's all these different things. Me personally, how I made it through, I did not look up what people did. And some people are like, "You crazy." I'm Googling them right away. I'm looking them up. I'm typing up everything about them so I know what I'm dealing with. For me, I felt like it would give you a skewed view of them, You know what they did, and now you're like, "Oh, you did that? Oh, yeah, I'm not dealing with them. I'm not working with him. He's not going to eat. He's not going to do this." So in order for me not to fall victim to the negative patterns that officers may take on because of the environment, I just rather not look them up. I try to treat everybody with the same respect. And did it always work? No. I've got paper thrown on me. I've gotten Game Boys thrown at me. We used to be in the bubble, and there's 2 little windows in the bubble, and they would ask for something and then put their hands in and keep it cracked open. So he wanted me to buzz the door. At the time, it was too much going on in the vestibule. I told you this. Usually opposing gangs, that are housed side by side, in order to keep them away from each other. But all they did was try to get to each other, which causes an issue for the officers. So he wanted me to crack the door, cursing me out. "Open this door. Open this door. If you don't open this door, I'm going to F you up when I see you. I'm going to catch you." It's constant threats. Constant threats that they're going to harm you. Constant threats that if you don't do what they say, they're going to get somebody on the outside to get you. They're going to give you a name. They're going to find out where you live. And like I told you in other episodes, there's different individuals that have different jobs. So some of them work very closely to our personal information. They work in the office, they work in the control room cleaning, and they're snatching papers off the desk, and they're doing certain things. So your information as a public servant may be public, to other people, that it may or may not get into the wrong hands. So as a female officer, I carried, and I had no issues carrying at all, and I practiced a lot. So to me, if I needed to, I would. It's not something that you should just take on if you have issues, if you have anger issues, if you feel that you would just shoot anybody. No. But protecting myself and protecting my child was paramount, and I still feel, that same way. So being in that environment was very important to have protection, along with me being the officer that I was, and making sure that I don't engage negatively, with the individuals, or just keeping it real plain, staying professional and doing what needs to be done. But holidays in jail it was an experience, just seeing how they work. Sometimes you just sit back in your chair, you just watch. For all my people watchers out there, being in there, all you can do is just watch the personality of this cell. And some people would memorize their nicknames. I didn't get that involved. I would know you more so by your cell or your last name. But a big thing was they didn't want people to know their actual names, so they didn't prefer you to yell out their name. I've been locked up with, I guess, famous podcasters and famous gang members, but I didn't know them. So I would get calls, yo, it's such and such in there, and I'm like, I don't know, who is that? So even me being there every day, there's some people that I just didn't know, and I'm like, I don't know, they're like getting ready for Christmas, they like have dinner together, they try to celebrate Taco Tuesday. It's just funny to see like that, even in this negative environment, that they're still trying to have a piece of hope. Even though they are well aware of what they did to get there, they know what they were involved in, they know the people that they were hanging out with, but they're trying to make do with what they have. So in turn, as we get down on ourselves for the different things that we go through, you have to realize that people that have absolutely nothing make something. So, it just helps you stay humble. It helps you stay grounded. But holidays in jail was interesting, and I'm glad that I left at the time that I did, to spend these holidays outside of jail with my family and be able to cherish the moments that I have, because depending on your situation, you might have to spend a holiday in jail. And as an officer, as an inmate, it's not a good feeling, because you want to be home. You want that hot cooked meal. You want that breakfast. You want that Christmas brunch. And you might not be able to have that. You might get sliced turkey, that fruit cake. I don't know where they get that fruit cake from, but I never tried it. I was too scared. No thank you. But, there's a lot of memories, and for the people who are still on the job, no matter if it's Rikers or anywhere else, stay strong, stay fit, stay healthy as best as you can, stay prayed up, stay close to your family, stay close to your children, and try to find joy outside. Try to book more trips. Try to utilize your vacation. Make the money, don't let it make you. Okay? Stay tuned for more from Cells to Shells with Trinity. We'll be back. I have on my time on Rikers Island on From Cells to Shells with Trinity.